Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Liz, and in today's video, I'm sharing with you 5 really inexpensive wall art ideas. I don't think I've ever done a video like this on my channel. One of the biggest design mistakes that I often see is when wall art is too small and it's not proportionate to your other furniture in the room. So you really want to make your wall art big and oversized, but doing that, it can be really expensive to purchase wall art that's, large in size. So I wanted to give you guys some options of things you could make that are affordable, that are gonna look so nice in your room. So this first one I was really excited about, but I didn't know how it would turn out. And in the end, you guys, I love it. So I went on Amazon and I was looking for a tapestry. If you don't want to use a tapestry, you could always use a shower curtain, but I couldn't find a shower curtain that I liked as much as the tapestries. Amazon has a wide selection of these. I spent a while looking through the different tapestries till I found one that I liked. So the one that I picked up was right under $15. And it was 60 inches by 50 inches. And they have ones that are even bigger than that. So you can really get something that's gonna cover your wall well. When I got the tapestry, it was all folded up and there was a lot of crease marks on it. So I went through and used my steamer and my iron to get out all the crease marks. If you end up leaving those in and you hang it up, it's just not gonna look good. I did at the end steam it as well because some of the creases were hard to get out, but just try before you put it all together to get all of the creases out before you even start this project. So I needed to create a frame to hang the tapestry on. This is really easy to do. All you need are 4 boards, and I like to grab just like the scrap boards at Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever, and I get the 1 by 2 inch boards. So I laid out my tapestry and then I put my boards around the edges of the tapestry. And I marked the boards where I needed to cut them to where I could fit the tapestry around the edges and staple it in place. Next, I took my framing boards and I cut them down to size. Then all you're gonna do is put them together like a big box, and then you're going to drill holes in the edge and add in your screws. It's really easy to create a frame. Now to assemble this, you're going to lay your tapestry flat on the ground with the side that you want to show facing down. You're going to put your frame on the back side. Then you're gonna set your frame on top of that. Now start at one area of your tapestry and you're going to fold it over to where it's just on the top edge and you're gonna staple it in place. I will link to the staple gun that I use in the description box, and any other project that you see in this video, plus what I'm wearing, I always put it down in the description box. Now you're going to go to the opposite side that you just stapled on, and you want to concentrate on pulling the fabric as tight as possible, wrapping it up and stapling it in place. And you'll do it all along that side. Then take the tapestry and put it upright to staple the sides. It's really important at this step that you just pull it as tight as possible without, giving it any like weird creases, but you want the tapestry to be flat across the front. So as flat as you can get it will work great. After you get all 4 sides stapled, just go back in and cut off any excess fabric. Next, you can just use a simple screw to hang this on the wall. And if you still have any creases, just go back in with your steamer and steam them out. And for under $20, I have a huge wall art piece. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, which if you're not, you need to be, because I post so much behind the scenes stuff. I showed you this trip where I went to IKEA. All right, so I'm in the frame section of IKEA. I'm gonna get some really cheap, large poster frames that I can use to create some fun wall art. Okay, so these white frames right here, they're pretty big. I think are they 24 by 36? Yes. And they're $19.99. So I'm gonna grab 3 of these. With my 3 white frames, I'm going to take out the mats that are already inside. I also picked up 3 white poster boards. I grabbed mine at Dollar Tree, but you can also get them at Walmart or so many other places. So I'm gonna lay my poster board out and then I'm gonna put the mat on top of it. I want to cut off any excess poster board because I'm going to try to make this like a continual art piece, so I don't want it to have too much excess, but I can't cut off too much because I need to be able to cover it with the mat. So I'm just leaving maybe like a centimeter around the edges, and I'm going to mark where I'm going to cut on my poster board. I think that I only had to cut off one side. I didn't have to cut off the top, and I'm just going to cut out my poster board. All right, so this is when the super fun part comes into place. Now, if you are not an artist, if you think that you cannot create artwork, I am gonna show you something really simple you can do. If you can paint in between lines, you can do this. So I laid my 3 poster boards out and I'm using the matte side. Most poster boards have like a matte and a shiny side, so I'm using the matte side for mine. Next, I'm going to get a collection of blue colors. So I just grab some of my Waverly blue colors. You can really use anything. You could use acrylic paint, but I just used what I had on hand. Next, I'm gonna create just wavy lines that I can fill in with this blue paint. So I wanna start at one edge and I want it to continue over all of my poster boards. And I'm gonna do that with a pencil. That way, if I make a mistake, I can always erase it and go again. Now I'm going to use a foam brush and I'm going to paint the top layer. I want this to kind of be a light to dark situation, so I'm going to start with my lightest color up top. Then I'm going to go down and do my 3rd color. That way I don't accidentally mix the 2 colors together. At this point, I'm gonna go back in and do a 2nd coat for my top and 3rd layer. I'm gonna let that dry overnight. You probably don't have to let it dry overnight, but I didn't have time to do it that day, so I came back the next day, and now I'm going to paint the colors for the 2nd as well as the 4th. And these are gonna end up getting 2 coats as well. Now, some tricks whenever you're adding in your paint, make sure that you just do a nice line along the edge with your brush, going just as smooth as you can. Once you get that nice line, you can come back in and add your paint. Also make sure that you're covering up those pencil lines that we created when we were drawing our outline. Now, once these are completely dry, I'm going to add them to my frames. A trick to make your prints be a lot more vibrant and stand out is you want to take out the glass or plastic to your frame, especially since sometimes the plastic can be kind of cheap looking, so I'm not going to add the plastic back in. I'm going to put the mat back in, and then I'm going to put my poster on top of it. I'm going to use some painter's tape along the edges to hold it in place. and then I'll just add in the backing. These 3 pieces come with hangers, so you can just hang them to your wall, and these make such a great statement and really fill up a wall. If you're trying to tie in a specific color to your space, I think this is a great way to do it. Okay, so I need to get a board. So I always come over to like these common shelf boards, and I'm using this as a backdrop. So I'm gonna be getting the one that is, let's see, it's 12 inches by 6 feet, but usually it's more around like 10.5 feet. So I'm gonna be getting this board. I usually get 6 and 8 feet, so I'm gonna grab one of those. So I have some signs that I'm going to put on these boards, and they're just going to be regular size printer paper. So I'm going to mark this board so I have an extra 2 inches at the top and bottom, and then we're going to cut out the board so I have 3 of them. Next, I'm going to stain my 3 boards with Special Walnut by Mini Wax. I'm just going to lightly brush on the stain, and then I'll immediately wipe it off. Since all of this wall art is going into my new office, I wanted it to be very motivational and just kind of to give inspiration throughout the day. I created some printables that I thought would be great and motivational, and if you would like to print them off as well, I'm gonna link them below in a PDF for you so you can have these printables at home. You can print them off on your printer. I printed mine off on a thick cardstock because I'm going to be doing a tea stain to it, and it just wouldn't hold up as well if it was on regular printer paper. This is a little fun technique I like to do when I want something to have an aged appearance. So all you have to do is get a tea bag, and then you're going to put it in a water source. It doesn't have to sit in there for a while. Then you're going to simply take that tea bag and you're going to put it all over your paper, and you're essentially just antiquing your paper. So you can do this as little or as much as you want. If you think it has a little too much, you could always get a wet paper towel and kind of run it over your paper, but you just don't want to do it too much because it's going to start running. I also print my pages on a laser printer. That's not going to run. Inkjets are more likely to have the ink run. You just have to pay attention to that if you're printing on an inkjet printer. So let those dry completely, and then I'm going to hot glue these pages all around the edge to my frames that I created. Now with this, I like to lay them all out and make sure that they're all at the same height because they're going to be hanging on the wall together. When I was at Lowe's, I also grabbed these cute little black tacks. I thought they would look great in the corners of my frames. So I'm just going to use my hammer. I love my pink hammer. That'll be linked below as well. And I'm just going to tack it into all 4 corners. And then I added some hangers on the back that I grabbed from Lowe's. I'm just going to hang these up on a simple nail. So it also created 2 more printables that I wanted to add as art on my walls. I'll link those below for you as well. But I wanted these to be a lot larger. I also like these little wood frames, so I'm gonna grab 2 of those. These are $25 each. Whenever I'm printing off posters, I like to use a company called Printful. You can print anything at any size and they actually send it to you pretty quickly. So that's what I did with these 2 prints. I sent them off and got them within the week. So again, I'm going to take that plastic part out of the frame. I'm going to use the mat, and then I'm going to take the poster I printed off, center it up, and then I'm going to tape it to the back. And then I will add the components back into my frame. You can display these in so many different ways. So for one of them, I'm going to put in my office, and it's going to be next to this really cool antique window that I got. It's going to lean on the cabinet next to this window that I have. For my next picture, I'm just going to center it over my love seat, and I think it looks great there. I hope I was able to give you some inspiration on wall art you could use in your home. Please let me know in the comments your favorite one. I love knowing your guys' opinion. If you're new here, make sure that you're subscribed. I post 2 DIYs each week. And if you missed our last video, I'll link it here for you. And I'll talk to you guys in our next one. Bye.